What types of IT jobs pay the most money? Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Zach with IT Career Questions, and I am going to answer that question somewhat, because if you guys saw my video that I made a couple months ago, or about a month ago, I hate answering that question, but everybody keeps asking me that question. Zach, what IT job pays the most money? Guys, I answered that before, kind of. I've answered that a couple times, but I am going to kind of answer that again, and I will give you a little bit more details this time. Maybe this time I will actually kind of answer that in a real way. So, to get right to the point, to just break it down in the best way that I possibly can. I'm not going to give you numbers, because numbers literally mean nothing. And here's why numbers mean nothing. Numbers mean nothing because it depends on your area. I can't give you an exact number. I can't tell you exactly what an IT job is going to pay because I don't know what your area is. I could tell you what an IT job would pay in Chicago because I know that area. That's where I live. So of course I know how much IT jobs pay in Chicago. But I can't tell you how much an IT job would pay in Washington, and I can't tell you how much an IT job would pay in Canada. So can't give you those answers, but I can tell you for the titles or specific positions, I can give you an idea on kind of what pays the most. So level 1 jobs and help desk type of jobs, obviously they pay the least. Those are just, run-of-the-mill entry-level jobs. They're going to pay the least. That's just a given. Everybody kind of knows that. Then there's level 2 jobs that kind of go up from there, and you'll maybe get some pay increase there. And then there's junior jobs. Sometimes you see those. You don't see any junior network administrator jobs or junior system administrator jobs very often. You might see a little bit of a pay increase there. But you kind of lump all those into a little bit of an area that are kind of at a bottom of the barrel almost pay rate. And I use that word loosely, okay? When you start getting into the system administrator type of positions, network administrator types of positions, that's when the pay rate starts to bump up a little bit. And I'll just use Chicago for an instance. So don't quote me on this. For all of your other areas, don't ask me specifically because I don't know. But the Chicago area, system administrators, the pay rate goes from like $50,000 on up. I've seen system administrators make like $90,000 a year. I've seen in some cases they make like $100,000 a year. It really depends. The starting rate is about $50,000 a year, depending on the business. If it's a small business, like a really small business, and you're a system administrator, you're gonna make $50,000 a year. That's just what it is. That's how things work, If it's a large business, you're gonna make more money. And there's a possibility that you will make more money. So these system administrator jobs, that's about, kind of where they start out at. And like I said, it really depends on the area. It depends on how large the company is. Even if it's a large company, if you have a couple system administrators, that pay rate might change too. Just because it's a large company, you may not make a ton of money. You might make like that $50,000 a range, $60,000 a range. It really depends. Again, it depends on your area. So don't quote me specifically on that pay rate, because again, it could depend on your area, where you're at. That's what I could tell you. Network administrators, that's going to be the same thing. Your guys are going to be right at that kind of same rate as system administrators, right? That's kind of how that works, right? Those two positions, system administrator, network administrators, generally they're always kind of equal until you get more in depth with the network administration side on security and things like that. Then you kind of start going a little bit higher and higher as far as pay rate goes once you start specializing a little bit more and more. CCIE type of stuff and definitely more advanced security. more advanced security protocols and things like that, there's definitely more room to grow as far as pay rates go. The biggest area where you are going to see a lot of money is anything that's going to say engineer, architect, things like that. If your job title says something like that, generally you're going to be making more money than an administrator or a tech or anything like that. And again, this is just generalizing for you guys because you guys ask me this so much. I can't give you specific numbers. I can tell you that if you want to make a lot of money, look for a job that says architect, systems architect, network architect, network engineer. That's going to give you the most money. That's going to give you the most bang for your buck, if you will. Directors, they are always going to be making a lot of money because you have to manage everything, right? And you're not necessarily going to be on the complete tech side of things. You're not going to have to know all of the network stuff and all the system administrator stuff. You're going to have to know the business side of IT, but you will make a lot of money being a director. Aside from that side of IT, developers, programmers and things like that, those guys make a ton of money. And once you just start, growing in that side of the field, there's tons of money to be made there. Like really, I couldn't even give you a ballpark on what those guys make. I know that one guy got right out of school, like literally right out of school, and he was making like $50,000 a year just as a like really fresh out of college, a developer. $52,000 a year. Now he's like an engineer. He's like a software engineer or something like that, or some type of engineer. And this is like 3 years later, right? Within 3 years, and he's probably making like, I don't know, $75,000, $80,000 a year now. I think he said somewhere in that range. I don't remember. I think it's like 78 or something, whatever. He's making a ton of money. He's like 26 years old, 25 years old or something like that. He's making great money. And it's only going to keep getting better because he's young. He has an education. He knows what he's doing. And he'll just keep making more money. He'll keep growing with the company, or he'll go to a new company and just grow. And being a developer, that's just what happens. So here's kind of a general, here's how you can make a ton of money working in IT. You want to make a ton of money working in IT? Here's how you do it. This is my steps. This is my video on telling you guys, these are the jobs that make the most money. I'm not going to give you specifics because here's the key titles. Engineer, architect, all you need to know. Or developer, of course. Those jobs definitely pay the most money. If your only concern in this entire world is making money, look for a job that has architect, engineer, director, or developer. And you'll make a ton of money and you'll live happily ever after. And please don't ever work with me because if all you care about is money, I don't want to work with you. And I've made a video about that before. So that's today's video. I hope I answered your question finally. I know you're going to want a more in-depth video on making money in IT, but I'm not going to do it because it just doesn't make any sense. If you want to work in IT because you want to work in IT because you love technology and you love working with people and you love making an impact on people's lives and you love to really make an impact in the technology side of the field. Not because you want to make a shit ton of money. It's not going to work for me, guys. So anyway, that's today's video. I hope you somewhat enjoyed it. If you didn't, my apologies, but real talk. Anyway, as always, take it easy.